right now is Arkansas Senator, member of the Senate Armed Services Committee, Intelligence Committee, and Committee on Banking, Housing, and Urban Affairs, Tom Cotton. And Senator, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Maria.
First, let's talk about the stimulus. What should be in this bill at this point? You just heard McConnell talk about $1 trillion unrelated to the coronavirus relief.
Yeah, that's right, Maria. It may be even more than that. You know, the House proposed several months ago to spend another $3 trillion. A lot of that is not related to this virus or trying to recover from the economic impact of it. We need to focus on the Americans who are still in need, people who are working in industries or in businesses that are hardest hit, like hospitality or restaurants or airlines. We need to help small businesses that are still struggling to stay above water. We need to help our schools and our colleges reopen. We need to be tightly focused on those needs, not all the wants of the special interest in Washington or the Democratic Party's liberal wish list.
So what do you think will be impactful then, Senator? I mean, the $600 weekly unemployment benefits, individual checks for people, liability protection. What is your priority?
So I also support higher uninsurance payments than normal. I think $600 is a little too high in a lot of regions of our country, though, because it's paying people more not to work than to work. So I'd like to see an increased payment, maybe not $600, maybe a cap. It's saying you can't make more than a certain amount of your lost wages. We do need liability protections. Otherwise, I'm very doubtful that some of our schools and colleges are going to be able to go back to school this fall, or our businesses are going to be reopened safely without worrying about ambulance chasing plaintiff lawyers waiting outside the premises trying to find the plaintiff. We also need to support those small businesses that are still struggling, especially the small businesses that are in the industries that are hardest hit. That's what a really tightly focused, well-calibrated package would look like. I hope that's where we end up.
Do the cities and states need aid?
So they
get money?
So they shouldn't get money to pay off long-standing fiscal mismanagement in states like Illinois and Rhode Island or cities like Chicago. But for cities that have overtime for police officers or that run hospitals and clinics, then I'm open to that. There's a lot of money that's left unspent from the CARES Act in March, though. One place we might look is to just give states more flexibility on how to spend the money and how it impacted them over the last 4 months, as opposed to spending more money on it. But I am open to helping cities and states in their response to this virus. What I'm not open to, and what I don't think the American taxpayer should do, is pay for the long-standing fiscal mismanagement of states like Illinois and cities like Chicago.
Let me move on to China, which you've done such great work on, and begin with this TikTok lawsuit. Parents are suing the popular video sharing app in a federal class action lawsuit in Illinois. Those parents allege that TikTok collects information about their children, sends it to servers in China. This, as of course President Trump has pushed for a potential sale of this app to a U.S. company by September 15th. Senator, could this suit expedite a sale? What's your take on what's going on with TikTok?
Well, I think those parents are right, and those allegations are accurate. Look, TikTok to the user just looks like a harmless, fun video sharing app. But it's a Trojan horse on your phone. It's designed to vacuum up all the data on your phone, your emails, your text messages, your photographs, even your browser history and your keystrokes, and it sends it all back to China, where it is subject to access by the Chinese Communist Party. That's the entire purpose of TikTok. So I'm pleased to see Microsoft say that they think that they can not only buy TikTok, but they can completely sever the relationship that it has with China. That's critical. It can't just be servers and data in the United States. There can be no back-end connections to ByteDance in China or to the Chinese Communist Party. No algorithms, no source code, no nothing. If that's possible, then that means a new U.S.-based TikTok could continue to operate as people see it on their phones without the Trojan horse behind the app.
But, Senator, is it possible? That's what I'm scratching my head over. I mean, you've got a company here that is owned by a Chinese company, and we know that if you are owned by the Chinese Communist Party, you have to give up any information that the CCP wants. I've got a list of situations in front of me, from Harvard to the Cleveland Clinic to Arkansas to Emory, of professors and academics who have been charged with taking money from the Communist Party to send data back. How are you going to be sure that all Chinese espionage is out of TikTok?
Well, the burden will be on Microsoft if it proposes a final deal to purchase TikTok. Now, in my conversations with the administration and folks in industry, they say that is possible. But obviously, they're going to have to demonstrate that. They're going to have to show our experts in the government that there is no lingering connection, no source code, no algorithms, no employees, nothing that is based in China. It has to be a purely U.S.-based, non-Chinese company. If they can't do that to the satisfaction of the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States, then that deal is not going to go through.
Tell me about where we are in terms of all of this intellectual property theft. We've obviously seen the administration in a very consistent communicating of what's going on with the CCP in terms of stealing IP. You were the first one to tell me on Sunday Morning Futures that you believed that the CCP hackers were trying to steal COVID-19 vaccine research. And, of course, then we saw the indictment. You were absolutely spot on. Tell us what's going on today.
Yeah, the Chinese Communist Party continues its campaign of intellectual property theft and forced technology transfer. It is past time for us to insist this stop. The Trump administration and the president have been doing that in various ways. I've got legislation that would take more steps as well. So, for instance, criminalizing the payment of money to American professors and academics who are on the payroll of the Chinese Communist Party or their state-owned enterprises. Right now, you can only prosecute those cases for things like wire fraud or lying on federal documents. It's the act of accepting the Chinese money itself that should be criminalized. There are other steps we can take as well to stand up for American companies that shouldn't have to transfer their intellectual property to Chinese partners simply as a condition of doing business with Chinese consumers.
What are your thoughts on this relationship between China and Iran? Forbes magazine reporting that there is a $400 billion partnership that the two are coming up with to work together. Is this a sign of the times that now China is trying to get further embedded with Iran? What are the threats?
Well, birds of a feather flock together, Maria. You have two outlaw regimes, and Iran is flailing right now because of the Trump administration's maximum pressure campaign. They will turn anywhere they can for foreign currency, to include into China's Belt and Road Initiative, which is essentially a nation-state level loan shark operation. Now, I have my doubts that China and Iran will ultimately be able to come to a long-term productive relationship for a variety of reasons, but it just goes to show you that Iran is flailing and that China badly needs allies.
Senator, it's an important topic. We'll keep following it. It's so good to see you this morning, sir. Thank you. Senator Tom Cotton.